Hello, how is everyone? It's Miss Real. I'm here today to talk about our 12 tips on teaching. First, let me say, we got this. We got this. Welcome to my channel. If you have not been to my channel here before, I'm Miss Real. I have been dealing with children for over 20 years. I give tips every Monday on certain topics to let you know that we are a community because sometimes we just need that extra help. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about teaching. Our first thing is the age to start. My suggested age to start is 6 months. And the reason I suggest 6 months is because at that age, they're able to interact with you more. So therefore, they're able to do more baby sign language and things like that, because that is the age I start teaching baby sign language, so that you're not yelling at me and we can understand each other better. Number two is using visual charts. And the reason why visual charts are so important is because children learn through sight as well. A lot of adults still learn through sight, but it's easier for them to pick up if you give them a visual chart to be able to do, especially at such a young age, sitting during snack time and things like that. You can be teaching them and getting them used to being able to sit down in a structured environment. As this video goes on, you'll understand why I say that. Repetition, I'm very big on repetition. Children understand repetition. It creates structure, which will also be one of our numbers on here. But repetition is really important because when you do something over and over again, you tend to remember it better. Seeing it, saying it, all those things, children pick it up really fast. From the experience that I have, I've learned that children are sponges. They pick up everything as long as you're giving it out to them. So give them as much as you think that they can be receptive to. I do not put a limit on children and teaching them because children are sponges. That's the most I can say. You just don't put a limit on it. Create a schedule. I would say do not teach them more than an hour. You don't want them to have to sit there. Their attention spans are really small. That's when you start, they start getting antsy, wanting to be talkative. They start doing little things and they're not paying attention after an hour. I'm just going to be honest with you. After a while, their brain just shuts off because they're children. So you have to find ways to keep engaging. And even within this hour, I do suggest that you take moments in between the charts that you're doing and do something fun, kind of keep them interacting if you see that you're losing them. Because as I said, they're children. Children's attention spans are about that long, but you can create a way to make it where it's longer, where they're able to sit there longer. I still don't, as I say, suggest longer than an hour. It does not take longer than an hour to teach. And this is from my experience. Children have gone to pre-K reading, and all I've given them was an hour of circle time. One of the things is praise. Absolutely give them a lot of praise, as much praise as you possibly can. And the reason why is because when children recognize that they are doing something great, they want to keep doing it. And anyone, I'm not even gonna just say children, anyone, but we start with the children so that they'll know as an adult that it feels good to be recognized for what you're doing, get recognition for that. Number 6 would be structure. Structure is very important, and the reason I'm saying structure is because you need to find a location, which is also number 7, that you're going to have your charts, that you're going to do everything so they know when they're at this location. This is our serious time. This is not play time. This is our learning time. So if you create a location and you give that structure, then they'll know that, okay, when we sit here at this time, then this is what it's time for us to do. It'll create a schedule for you and the children to be able to have an understanding. It won't be chaos. You won't have to go through meltdowns or anything. When it's time to do learning, they're going to be excited about learning. They're going to be ready to go to that designated spot and those things. And when you do create your location and you get that structure and the repetition and you have those charts, it'll get to a point to where they will want to teach you, which is really cute to me after a while. And sometime throughout the channel, I'll be putting up videos from when I was teaching children and they started teaching me. But I like that aspect because they mimic. Children mimic mostly what we do versus what we say. So that's where the visual part comes in, and I create fun songs when I'm doing the ABC chart, even with counting, anything that it takes to keep their attention. Children need a way to stay active, interactive with each other. So whatever you need, clapping, songs, yay, make sure, but as I go back, make sure there's a lot of praise, The next is be patient. You have to be patient because they're learning. This is new to them. So therefore, you have to take your time to teach them. We can't rush them to learn anything. You just have to be patient. Every child is different. So it all depends on your child and how quickly they learn, and if they have any learning disabilities, which you'll pick up on as you continue to do things on a repetitive basis and give that interaction with them. But patience is very, very important because children can sense energy. If they see you're getting frustrated with them and you're not allowing them to use their brain or take their time to figure things out, they're going to shut down, and you kind of don't want that. And if you do get to a point to where you see a child has become frustrated and you are patient and they're shutting down, just back away, ask them, do they need a moment? And you give them a moment, and then you'll go back and you say, are you ready? And usually that works for me, and they say they're ready, because sometimes we need a breather. Even as adults, things get overwhelming. New things can become overwhelming. Changes can become overwhelming, and we need a breather. And children are no different because they're little people. So they're no different than us. So when we're doing these things and we're teaching them new tasks, and even on as far as learning anything, we have to remember to be patient with them. The next one is circle time. I suggest the circle time. That's what I say, no more than an hour. You call it circle time, learning time, whatever you choose, is because, as I was explaining earlier, having a designated spot for them would be something that a child look forward to. If you create that structure, you create that for them, then they're going to want to keep doing that. It's not going to seem like a task or a chore when it comes to getting ready to teach them and them learning. They're going to really want to do that. And so I want to break down on how to teach in different ages as well. So if you have children that are different ages, you also can do a complete circle time with them. You can have the older children that do know certain things be able to help you teach the younger children. And also knowing teaching older children, the younger children pick it up. So it kind of make it a little bit better. So you got it easier as your children progress. Say you have a 2, 3, and a 4-year-old. As you're teaching your 4-year-old, your 2-year-old, I promise you, is going to pick it up. So you're not even going to have to go through a lot of that when it's time to teach them whatever it is you were teaching the 4-year-old, because they picked the majority of that up. I don't believe there's an age limit on teaching anything at all. There's no age limit on teaching anything. If they got it, they got it. You keep going. Don't stop it. Keep going. Keep pushing. There's different ways to teach children with different disabilities as well. I've taught children with autism. I've taught children with all other types of disabilities, learning disabilities. So you just have to learn how to teach the child on their level. Every child is different, and I want you to remember that. Even with doing your circle time, doesn't matter on the disability part, you can still get them to listen and pay attention and comprehend. You just have to understand that child. I've noticed that sometimes I have to have a child fidget, and that's okay because they hear me. As you do this, you'll learn your child and what's best for them, and each individual child that you choose to do this with. Over the years, my learning technique, I promise you, have worked with so many. I have done the same circle time. I have created the same rules. I have put the same things in placement. Thinking of that, I have a curriculum that'll be coming out soon. I'm in the process of working on that. But when it comes to teaching children, it really is a matter of giving them all they can take. I don't know what more to tell you besides giving them all that they can take, because children are receptive. I'm going to keep repeating that they're receptive as long as you give it to them. And watch how your tone is and how you're doing these things. Don't do it out of frustration, and always, always, always make it fun. Make fun, make fun, make it fun. Learning is fun. Learning is always fun. We're going to learn forever. And we want children to understand that it's fun, because as they get older, they're going to want to keep learning and do new things and add on to whatever it is that they may know. I always try to explain to parents when they're asking certain things, or how can I teach this, or what is your way of doing this? One, I make it fun. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's fun. And we don't spend all day doing it. And I pay attention. And when the child is shutting down, I back up. I give them their space. I allow them to have their moment. I listen to them. I pay attention to their emotion, their energy. These are things you also have to do, because, as I said, it can be overwhelming to learn new things. It can be very overwhelming. I also don't take I can't. Don't allow your child to say what they can't do. Can't is not a word that I do allow in the vocabulary of a child. We can do anything that we put our mind to. always have been able to. It's just a matter of believing and giving them the perception of what they can and can do. That's why I say there's no limits. There's no limits. You can have a 2-year-old reading if you do it properly, if that's where they're ready to be. Don't push them. Don't push them because you want them to be here because this child is here. Every child is different and they go at their own pace. When it comes to crafts and play, children learn through that a lot. I do a lot of play with the children. You can teach them how to be friendly. You can teach sharing. You can teach animal sounds with puzzles. There's so many things, crafts. You can teach them how to use scissors. You can learn colors through crafts. There are so many things that you can do when children are playing or doing crafts or doing other things throughout, teaching respect, waiting their turn. Learning comes in everything that they're doing. That's why when I say the sit down method of an hour, that's all they need. They can learn while they're out running around and being children, because children learn better being children, allowing them to expand their mind, creating and being them own selves and learning who they are as an individual, as a person, so that they're able to bring forth greatness to this world. So allow them to be free, use their imagination, be a child. So when it comes to this teaching tips, I give you this from my own personal experience. I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. There's so many other ways you can. Know that I'm a community here. If you have any more questions, you have any concerns, you have any topics that you would like to do, I ask that you please put them in the comment section below. Also, subscribe and like this channel so that you can get any feedback that I may have coming, any of my new stuff that I have coming out. Again, I want to let you know we got this, and I'll see you the next time.